All right, we're live.
Okay, before we continue, we should say that anybody who is watching this, that there's going to be major spoilers throughout the entire video.
All right.
So, been warned. Alright, so we just saw The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 1, and I gotta say, it's the one pilot episode I've enjoyed most since Season 1. This one was, started off pretty intense, and of course, as usual, the episode, after the first 10 minutes, it kind of starts slowing down a bit, but this one was,
Wait,
it
wait,
had me
wait, wait,
entertained
wait,
throughout.
wait, wait, wait. We didn't introduce ourselves or anything.
Oh my god.
Hey, you can edit the vocal the voices. So just start
Uh,
right now. In three, two, one.
This is Zach and Tito here, and we just saw The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 1, and we decided to talk about it while filming it. And anybody watching this, let me just warn you that this is going to be filled with spoilers because we're going to talk about everything point by point. We're going to analyze it. And now that that's out of the way, let's start. Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 1. Uh, I usually don't enjoy the pilot episodes as much as this one ever since the Season 1 one. And this one was pretty entertaining throughout. What did you think?
I would have to disagree completely.
Oh man,
I I did not really enjoy it at all. I thought it was just as stereotypical as pretty much any episode of The Walking Dead, at least so far. I mean, there wasn't anything particularly special about it. I mean, it bordered on the same kind of stereotypical writing that they usually go with.
yeah, but these are the things that I enjoyed from it. The first few minutes when they're about to Rick and the gang, from season 4, they get captured in that cargo container thing. So of course they're planning how they're gonna get out. The cannibals come in, take them, and like one of the most horrible things I've seen so far in the show is they line up all these people in the thing where they're gonna bleed them out like pigs, and right there it's a pretty tense moment. You're like, how are they gonna get out of this? It's all good until they put these four obviously expendable characters.
Yeah, yeah,
They
that,
line
that,
they
that,
line
that,
them up.
that's like that was when I was watching. I was like, that was probably like the only part of this whole episode I enjoyed
Yeah,
because it was pretty good up until that point. I mean, the gore of them cutting their throats and bleeding them out was cool. But
yeah,
the fact that they used the expendables
yeah,
first, like, took me out of it instantly. Like, it was so weird that they were both standing on one side of the trough, and
right.
the guy just decided to go all the way around to the people that didn't matter at all. I didn't even know who those people were. They didn't even like say anything. They were just like, yeah, let's cut these ones, and
Yeah. And one of them, the blonde one, looks at Rick for some reason. Like, how does he know Rick? Does I don't know. And like the guy, yeah, like you said, the guy's about to start with Rick, and for no reason whatsoever, he said, "No, no, let's start from the expendable character." They're like, "Okay,"
well,
and then they
it
kill four of them, and then they go up to Glenn, and of course, as Glenn's about to get killed, some shit happens. Like, hey, wait a minute, I gotta talk to this one first. It's like, what?
well,
I
yeah.
up to that point I was enjoying it, and that kind of took me out.
It seems like, I mean, I can understand it. It seems like they would want to, since Rick is the one that came in and started some shit. I would imagine they wanted to like freak him out before they killed him. But still, it's just the fact that there's literally no tension between the actual main characters whatsoever. I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the past. Like, it's so obvious that nothing's ever going to happen to these people. The
Yeah,
fact
like
that
if that scene had the potential to be like bigger than more shocking than the Red Wedding, because if you would have put black guy that what's I forget his name, but if you put him before Glenn and have him killed, then it's something. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of them, at least one of them, to die. Like right there, that would have been a good way to start off the season. It's like right to the point.
Yeah,
People have been waiting, almost a year for something, and then it comes out and it's just the same old. Like there's nothing gonna happen to these characters, so it's like, why am I even watching?
yeah. up
Um,
until then, and then it took me out. But then I liked how the Carol character is now like a badass,
yeah,
and I like that.
I didn't like that at all.
Oh,
It
because
was
you don't find it realistic.
I don't know if it's kind of the thing I didn't find realistic at all was when she used the bottle rocket to
Yeah,
blow
yeah,
up the propane tank. Like that was just ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
all of a sudden she's like an expert marksman with like bottle rockets and stuff. Like, come on, come on.
yeah. That was kind of weird. That yeah, that kind of yeah. I was like, did she? When I saw it, I was like, is she aiming that? She didn't even aim it. She just like put the
Yeah, she
rifle down
just
with the
stuck it
bottle.
in there and then expected it to work. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the fact is that she rescued them from there. She's I don't know. She like John McClaned the place, which is kind of cool, but at the same time stupid. But hey, forgivable.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things like weird about this episode. Like,
The one
uh,
that bothered me the most was how the leader of this terminus place, they show in the beginning that he used to be a victim of it. Like, were we supposed to sympathize with him?
yeah, I didn't get that like at all. It's like she said that woman said like that her catchphrase kind of thing.
Yeah,
What was it? The
you're
butcher,
either the cattle,
or
yeah,
yeah,
you're
the
either the
cattle, or the.
cattle or the butcher.
And then they had to show where she got that reference from. It's like, who really gives a fuck?
I don't understand why this guy like are they trying to tell us that he used to be a good guy and he's just a victim of what society became after the apocalypse?
Maybe it's
Like,
supposed to be like a foreshadowing of how their little group is going to turn out. Like, eventually, they're just going to give up on humanity. Because that's what it seemed like when, uh, um, what was it? They were gonna like go back and murder everybody or something. I think it was like Glenn or somebody
yeah,
said like, no, we have to do this because
it's still who we are.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
so it's kind of getting a little heavy-handed with like, oh, they're still trying to keep the humanity kind of deal.
yeah, I guess. But I mean, the best part though, the coolest part was when they finally get out of Terminus, and Rick's like, "No, we're gonna go back and kill these motherfuckers." I was like, "Yes, do it," and everyone in the group was like, "No,
Well,
we're
I mean,
out."
I would have said the same thing, like, cause I mean, I would have sided with everybody else, cause like, why would what would be the point of going back in there to kill people?
You telling me you wouldn't want to kill those guys?
Not, I mean, yeah, they're like for the fact that what they did, but I mean, you got out, and why risk your life after that? Like, you might as well just get out of there.
I could definitely understand Rick's point how it's like these guys almost cannibalized us. They've been eating and torturing people. Like if they let him go, they're just gonna go out to the next place and keep doing the same thing.
I don't know. It's
It doesn't
maybe.
matter because of course at the end Rick doesn't do it. The group convinces him not to, and Carol comes and says, "Hey, I saved you guys." Oh, and when Carol shows up after saving them, Daryl like there was a pretty corny moment where he almost lifts her up when he goes to hug her.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like such an awkward hug. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You gonna like
like are
throw her
they?
on the ground or something?
Yeah, they're gonna. Are they lovers now? Like, what's going on? I understand they appreciate each other a lot. They're really close, but I
like
don't know. It's kind of
like
weird.
I remember like while I was watching it, I was like, it looks so awkward. I can only imagine. It must have been like while they were like filming it, like it was so weird to do. It was just like, oh, this is kind of, I don't know how to do this right now.
Yeah, and like it's like they're decide. It's awkward because it's like they're deciding whether or not to like kiss each other. He's kind of like up in her face and crying, and then he puts his face down on her chest. Like,
Well, that's
are
kind
they
of
just
how
gonna
like
kiss or what?
the vibe of the show was going originally, but now everybody's convinced that him and Beth were gonna get it on eventually. So I don't know.
Yeah, what I think it is more like mother and son relationship more than lovers. But
I
still, the way
guess.
when he hugs her and like goes to lift her up like if they were in a Disney movie. It was kind of weird.
It was very awkward. Um,
Is
but
Beth is Beth still around? I didn't see her.
no, remember she got like kidnapped or something on the end of the last season.
Oh, so now they gotta find her.
I guess I would assume she's dead because like how could you even know where to begin to look?
Yeah. Another part of the episode that was interesting, the redneck guy Eugene, the guy who apparently has the cure, he gives some exposition as to how he plans to cure it. And I don't know, it's all sketchy to me. I don't believe this guy at all. I think he's just using them for people to like protect them because
Yeah,
it's obvious.
I don't buy that at all. Like he's got like
You expect me to believe this like Larry the Cable Guy looking motherfucker? We used to be part of like a 10-man team that designed chemical weapons or no disease. They weaponize diseases. That's what he said.
we even
And
so. I mean, I don't understand like with the like the thought process of what he's going to do. Like, does he assume that what they have is a virus, so he's going to fight a virus with a virus?
yeah, that's what
Would
he
he
said. It's
even?
like, oh, we'll get to Washington and I'm gonna fight fire with fire.
But that doesn't even make sense because I mean, a virus would be. I would assume you'd have to administer it like airborne, and zombies can't breathe. So I don't understand like how they would contract the virus. They don't have blood flow, so it's not like the virus could like spread through their body.
Oh man, I'm convinced this guy is a fraud. And I'm telling you, there's gonna become a point where
Well,
okay,
I
so
hope
we're in Washington. It's like, oh no, guys, I was just kidding. I'm just a pussy, and I need an excuse for people to like protect me.
I hope that's the case because if that's how they decide to end the series is oh I'm gonna make this virus that takes away the zombies like I'm just gonna like that's gonna be like the biggest cop out ever. It's like why did it take so long to figure this out? Like why are you the only one that knows how to
Yeah,
do this?
yeah. So that's why yeah, that's another good reason why I'm convinced that he's just lying or something. Because I can see how that is pretty stupid. But yeah, I'm just gonna make an anti-zombie virus.
I don't know. Like I don't. If that's what if that's the case, like where did he come from? Like why wasn't he in Washington to begin with?
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking of. Like, why were you so far away? Why were you in Georgia? But like, what are you doing there?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. If the one thing I want to know though is why the people that are protecting him, the original group that was with him, like why they must know something that would make them so convinced that they would like risk their lives to bring this dude all the way to Washington. He must have some kind of proof. I doubt he just walked up to them and was like, "Oh, by the way, I have the cure. You need to take me to Washington." I mean,
Well, I mean, that's another sign of the bad writing of the show because up until remember halfway through the episode, they're in the container and everyone's about they think they're about to die, and one of the girls says to him to Eugene, "Hey, tell me what the cure is." And it's like, you've been with this guy for months. You never asked him what the cure was when he told you, "Hey, I know the cure." It's like what? Oh no, he's like it's classified. He always keeps saying he always tells him it's classified.
yeah, it's
Classified
like
your ass, man. It's fucking the world does not exist anymore. Who gives a shit?
yeah, I don't that it. I don't know. It's baffling. It's
Yeah,
so baffling. It's like the writers of the show wrote themselves into a corner
yeah.
and they have no absolutely no idea how to get out of it. To like, all right, we got this dude that's got the cure, but now we have no idea actually how to like pull it off. So we're just gonna make up some bull crap like, oh yeah, it's classified.
Yeah, every time someone asks them, it's classified, and surprisingly, they're like, "Oh, okay." If he
Yeah, it's like
tells me, I might go to jail. If he tells me,
it's like yeah, I'll keep trying to get you to Washington, losing more people along the way. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah. What did you think of the guy that Carol and the black dude kidnapped? Like, did you think it was a good idea to kidnap him? Did it feel like when they tied him down and he was having that conversation with the dude? It's like that felt like some filler to me.
Oh yeah, that was total filler. Like that whole thing was just pointless. I don't know what happened. Like it was just like, oh yeah, this guy is kidnapped. Something's gonna happen. Baby,
He's,
baby
yeah,
gets like knifed put to it, and the dude just like single-handedly takes out like 10 zombies. I did notice something like strange, a very bad
continuity.
continuity problem was when he kills all the zombies, he goes outside and they're like all over the place, like dead.
Yeah,
And then when the group comes back, like when Carol brings the group to the cabin, there's no zombies outside. They're all gone.
there was a corpse outside. One.
One, but but before they showed like the whole area was like covered with them.
Yeah, and they showed one too that was he rammed that wooden thing through the zombie's neck, and you saw the zombie just laying there with the thing through his neck, and that zombie wasn't there when they got back. That
Yeah,
was just,
there was nothing there. It was just gone.
yeah, that stood out to me too. It's like, what did he like? Oh, you know what? That might have an explanation. He uh he knew the group was coming back, so he didn't want to like worry them. So he maybe just like put the bodies behind the cabin.
I doubt it.
Why not? He's like, hey man, people are
These
gonna come back.
these people have been like surrounded by zombies for years now. Like, do you think he really gives a fuck?
Again, like Glenn said, it's about maintaining your humanity. You don't want to get used to it. That's the point.
I'm pretty sure they're used to it. They like kill these things like it's like bread and butter.
Even that guy that's protecting Rick's daughter, he says he refuses. He doesn't want to kill people. That redneck dude keeps telling him like, well, if you don't, then we're gonna kill you. It's like, no, I won't. As he's punching him, no,
I
I won't.
still doubt he would take the time to like take these zombies away from the cabin and stuff. Like, if they were just dead, they would have been like, oh yeah, he took care of them. I mean,
Do you think he really killed that redneck?
uh, didn't
No,
he?
he. I don't think he did. I don't think he did because when Kara wants to go look, he's like, no, 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 he's dead. It's like if he's
Wait,
dead, then you shouldn't have a problem.
did what happened? Didn't he?
He takes Rick's daughter as a hostage, and he tells the guy go outside. He goes outside and single-handedly takes out all the zombies. And then the redneck, when he gets on the walkie-talkie, he comes in and beats his ass. And the last thing you see is him just punching him repeatedly, and then it cuts away to another scene. And then
Oh,
when they come back to the cabin, he's outside with the baby. Yeah, there's like hardly any zombie corpses around. Because I guess, like I told you, he decided to clean up a bit. And then he tells Carol what happened. And when Carol wants to go inside the cabin, as opposed to like slap him around a bit, he's like, no, 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 I killed him. He's dead. And she's like, oh, okay. She just takes his word for it. But like he prevents her from going in. Like he grabs her. Like, no, 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 don't go in there. Dead. I don't think he killed him.
I don't know. Maybe if he did keep him alive, maybe he's gonna like that dude's gonna start hunting him. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is gonna be used as a plot device. Later on in the show, he's gonna come back like, "Hey, buddy, remember when you left me for dead?"
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I thought he would like he was just dead.
Yeah. What else? What else?
I don't know. Like the whole episode just felt like the usual schlock of The Walking Dead. I mean, it's gonna go nowhere. They'll probably the whole thing is just gonna be like,
Oh, okay. There was another thing I saw where it's like when you write something that like a message that you want the audience like you want to beat the message of okay, maintain our humanity. They've been doing it throughout the whole series. It's overused, blah blah blah. But always something happened like when Glenn says, "Hey, we got to get those people out of the container," and Rick's like, "No, that's a bad idea," and Glenn's like, "No, we have to do this." Rick's like, "Fuck it, whatever." So when they risk their lives to do it, they kill some walkers around it. They open the door, and it turns out it's just one guy who's lost his fucking mind, who like almost tries to kill Glenn, and then a walker just goes up to him and kills him. So it's like at that moment, Rick should have been like, "Told you, like this is the world we live in now, man. It's like, kill or be killed. Survive. You can't just okay, let's just go around saving people because you're putting your own life at risk." Like how many times does Rick have to like say that to these people.
Yeah, Rick is the only one that's got somewhat any sense anymore.
Before he used to be annoying like that. No, I refuse to accept this new world.
Yeah,
But now he's accepted it.
I don't know who's like the right one in these situations because it's like first you got like that where like Glenn is like, no, we got to do it, and then he winds up almost getting himself killed. But then you got situations where Rick wants to do shit like that, like he wanted to take the guns and kill everybody, like that could have got them killed too. So it's like everybody like is it's kind of like a conservative liberal kind of debate. It's like they both have their own like good merits and stuff, and then there's also the like the shitty downside to them too. So it's like I don't know who to side with. It's like everybody's gonna wind up getting each other killed for some reason.
Well, I will go with only Rick was the only one of the group that wanted to go back and kill him, and everyone else was like no. So I guess the majority wins on that one. I guess he was wrong just because of it wasn't a
I
proper
wouldn't want
interview.
to. I mean, if I was just there and I almost wound up getting my throat slit and stuff, like I wouldn't want to go back. Like who cares about those people? If you have
Well, I
to
mean
deal with them later,
they're not
huh?
gonna capture you again. They're not gonna capture you again
I
because of
understand that,
zombies.
but you're still that's just like you just got out of a life and death situation and then you're gonna throw yourself back into it.
The entire world is a life or death situation, man.
Okay, I understand that, but like at that point, you just got to the point where it was like you were facing death, like right there, and then you just got the opportunity once again to get away from it, and you're just gonna like force yourself back into it for no reason. There was nothing to gain out of going back and killing them, other than that they just weren't gonna be around anymore.
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter because we're gonna see him in the future anyway.
Because I mean, like when he was fighting the governor, at least they had like resources, a place to stay, stuff like that. There was stuff to gain from going against him, but like these people, it's just like there was nothing to gain whatsoever.
I mean, you could kill them and take their place,
But
just
then
like
you
how
had to
they
do
did
the
before.
same thing all over again. I mean, they really didn't have anything. I mean, I guess you could say, but I mean, they was already infested with zombies. There was no real food. It was all bodies they were chopping up.
Hey, man, gotta eat what you gotta eat.
They probably could have took some guns. I'll say that probably some of the worst, maybe not worst, but pretty bad special effects for this time around.
There
Like,
were some cool kills, but there was also the awful looking digital black spurts, which will never look good.
I think the throat slitting looked the best, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about like actual makeup ones. Like there was a chick getting her throat bitten and stuff, and it looked pretty bad, and like she couldn't act at all. I was like, that was another thing. Like some of these deaths were kind of like phoned in.
hmm
Um, Then the dude opened the container and he got his face bitten off.
Oh no, there was a guy that got his face bitten. Like a zombie was walking up to him, and the dude was like on the ground. It's like, dude, you have all the time in the world to get up and run. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Remember that?
they showed the zombie like biting his face. Like I thought that
Yeah.
looked kind of bad. It just looked like a doll on
Yeah,
his
and
face.
they
What
just put
blood
blood in
like
his face. They just
with
pour blood
blood
in his
like
face.
coming out of it. It didn't look good at all.
Yeah. But then there were some like when you see that woman's throat getting ripped out and stuff. It looked alright.
I suppose. No,
Oh, you didn't talk about how fucking
hold on,
Andrea showed
hold on.
up.
Huh. All right. So what were we talking about?
You were saying that the deaths look bad.
Uh, yeah. Like that chick that was like on the ground with her throat getting taken out. That was the one I was talking about. Like she didn't look like
Yeah, she
um.
wasn't selling the effect enough, but I think that it looked good. She
I
just couldn't act.
guess I don't know.
What did you
Um,
think of when Andrea shows up? Zombie, Andrew.
I don't even remember when that happened.
You didn't catch that at all? Like in the beginning of the episode, Carol is walking on the train track and they see a zombie and it's got the handcuffs on it, on his hand, and it's got blonde hair.
No, I didn't.
I,
I didn't catch that at all.
well, I think that's Andrew. Because, I mean, come on. Handcuffs, blonde hair. Like the face of the zombie was all messed up.
Didn't she blow her braids out?
Exactly.
So,
Maybe she shot herself in the face.
uh huh. But that would make that she wouldn't come back as a zombie
Why? Why not?
if she shot herself in the face.
Maybe they didn't damage the brain.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm guessing that was supposed to be Andrew because, I mean, why would they emphasize that one zombie so much? Like, they even had like a close up of the handcuffs on the zombie's hand.
I don't know,
And she
but
was,
wouldn't you blatantly be able to tell that it was Andrea if that was the case?
I don't know, like, when Andrew dies, wasn't she handcuffed to something? In,
Mm,
in season 3? Like, I know the governor handcuffed her to that chair with a walker inside the room.
okay, yeah, but
And then she kills herself.
yeah, but like they all witnessed it, like, or so who was in there that was with her?
It was just her. Like, the group leaves her there because they know
Mm.
she's gonna turn.
Well, that seems like if that was the case, uh, yeah, no, there's no way that was her. There's no way.
Okay. I thought
They
it
would have
was.
they would have emphasized that way more than they did if it was. And it doesn't make sense that you can't you can't just kill yourself from shooting yourself in the face
Yeah.
if it wasn't like brain damage, you know?
Yeah. When Rick kills those two butchers, he he says no, let them turn. Why? Glenn,
Uh,
remember Glenn's about to kill the brain because he just stabs him in the throat, but they're gonna turn.
I
Then
I
Glenn's
guess
about to kill
because
him.
I
It's like
guess
no, let him
because
turn.
I guess he figures it's a worse way to go.
But like when you're a zombie, you don't really know you're a zombie, do you?
I think it's just like a peace of mind for them, not the actual thing.
I don't know. Also, I thought it was pretty funny how it's like it was so obvious when Rick was gonna kill him. Like I knew the exact moment it was gonna happen because it was like, hey, no, man, I'm gonna go check it out. And then he's like, hey, man, look at me. And the camera pans in a really like exaggerated way, and it's like, okay, he's gonna come up from behind him and stab him. And of course, a second later, that's what happens. It's
Hmm.
like you'd be able to see that. Like he Rick somehow perfectly blended right behind that guy, and the guy behind him didn't see it.
Well, I don't know, like the thing that gets me is that this is the highest rated episode so far.
It was pretty damn like for all the episodes, for as bad as the show has been. Like I was surprised by this one. Like it wasn't that bad.
I don't see it. I don't understand what is so great. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but
Because unlike
I did
because
not find it
unlike
any different than any other episode. I mean,
the thing that was different, it was more action. That's why. Like I've never
there's
seen so much action in a pilot episode of The Walking Dead before.
okay, maybe a pilot episode, but it still mirrors a lot more of the other episodes where there was action. Like, how is this any different from going into the prison or the governor's town or any of that? Like, it was the same exact setup.
Yeah, and that's what the show. That's what everything's gonna be. They go to a place. The place gets fucked up. They go to a different place. That place is fucked up. That's if you're gonna complain about that, then you better stop watching the show right now. Because
Well,
even at the end of this episode, that's what they said. What now? Well, we go somewhere else.
that's the thing. Like that's why I'm trying to make my point. Like, why is everybody like having a shit foot over it when it's the same exact thing? Just because it's the pilot episode? Or is that what the twist of the show is become? Like, oh, because we didn't show this action at the end of the season, That's what makes it better. Like that's ridiculous. That's like that's some of the worst writing I've ever heard of before, and the fact that fans like eat it up is even more baffling.
Yeah, I guess the writers know, hey, people want to see zombies, so they were like, fuck it, just make pilot episode like as much as zombie filled as possible. And hey, I guess people like that.
Well, oh man, I don't even know because like it's like, why would you make such a big deal? Like this is like the how like bizarre this is and how badly done it is. Season was, oh, we got to make it to Terminus. We got to make it to Terminus. They spent the whole season getting there. They finally get there for 2 episodes, and already they're gone, and they've already destroyed it, and they've moved on. It's like it completely
It was
like shit on the
anticlimactic.
concept. Like the
Yeah, that sucked. That sucked.
it
Like
makes the whole
season five should have been like all about Terminus. It's
something
completely gone in one
like
episode with the
something to make it like worth the wait because I mean we all wanted to see we all knew that like some bad stuff was going to happen at Terminus. That's another thing about writing on this show is you automatically know it's going to be the same. Oh, yeah, they're going to get there, but it's not going to be what they think,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it was. So maybe that's why they cut it short because they knew it's like there's no point in dwelling on the same thing. But then they shouldn't have made it such a big point in the first place. Then
yeah, that's true. It was like Terminus, Terminus. We gotta get there.
it seems like the only reason it was made was to regroup everybody, to regroup Rick with his baby and stuff.
And Carol with the group.
Yeah, the there was some like I don't know. There's a lot of other weird things like when Carol has to fight the woman,
Yeah,
and that kind of like seemed pretty phoned in. Like they made it like stand out uh like her that woman's character like mattered for something,
yeah,
but it didn't at all. Like who was this woman? Like I didn't even know who she was, and all of a sudden it's like final battle, Carol versus this woman. And it's like, oh, okay.
yeah. That was weird. And then at the end of the episode, of course, they reveal she was one of the victims also of the new society of the post-apocalyptic world. Like she was getting raped repeatedly, and that made her go crazy. And now they're cannibals. And she was
What
trying to
what
get Carol to like I don't know.
what was the point of the room with all the candles? Were they like becoming a cult or something, or were it like
That's what I thought too. Like they are a cult now. It's like, oh, never trust, never this. Paintings on the wall. Yeah, I guess that's that's what it was. Like
so? It's like that's even more baffling. Like they don't explain any of this. Like they didn't give it a chance at all. They're just like, yeah, let's kill everybody.
well, sometimes less is more.
Maybe, but I mean, it's not really when you build up an entire season to get to this place and then don't show anything about it.
Yeah, all right. They should have done like at the end of season four. They just showed them getting there, and
Like,
that's it.
like,
And then season five, we can explore the place more before shit starts going south.
like merits of a good TV series is like, hey, do you remember that part in Breaking Bad when they had to do this or go to this place and this happened? But this it's like, hey, do you remember Terminus and The Walking Dead? Remember only seeing it for 2 episodes and nothing really happened except people just killed one another? And about anything else? Like, you remember when they went to the prison and they killed some people? And then do you remember the governor's place where they went there and they killed some people?
Yeah, that's The Walking Dead summed up.
Well, I just don't understand. Like, I do not understand why this is a popular show. Okay, I can understand why it's popular. I just don't understand why it's so highly regarded. Like, do people just not watch other shows?
Not. It's because of the zombies, man.
But zombies, I don't know. Zombies are not that interesting.
Yeah, that's what the writers of the show. Apparently, that's what they think of too, because the show is really not about the zombies. But I mean, that was one of the complaints that people had in this episode. They were like, "All right, we don't want people bitching anymore, so we're just gonna make this show like riddled with walkers everywhere." And that's what I actually enjoyed. That it's like shit. It's called The Walking Dead. Let me see some walkers. Yeah, but
Well,
okay, I guarantee you, the rest of the season, it ain't gonna be like this. I'll call it right now. I'll go on record. Like they want to make sure they do like an awesome pilot episode just to hook people in, and I bet you the next 3 or 4 episodes are just gonna be just like everything else. Like in season two, just they find a place and it's just boring character development, people talking about maintaining humanity, blah blah blah. The same overused themes the show has always been using.
yeah, I hope they don't do anything like they did with Beth and Daryl. Like that whole episode where it was just them and stuff was so awkward and bizarre
Yeah.
that it's like it had nothing to do with anything. It's just like, I mean, yeah, it's character development, I guess, but it's nothing to the point where like any of it matters. The only thing I got from it was kind of foreshadowing that one of them was probably gonna like wind up sacrificing themselves for the other.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I just hope they don't do anything like that again throughout like this season. But I'm sure they will with somebody. I just hope
Yeah.
some of them start dying off. I mean, AMC is obviously smart enough because I mean they had Breaking Bad and they were smart enough to end it after 5 seasons. So I don't understand
No, man,
like,
AMC is not smart enough, man. They're gonna milk this show for as long as they can.
but that's like that.
Breaking Bad was not owned 100% by them. It was also owned by 2 other companies, Sony and something else. I don't remember what the other one is. This Walking Dead is the only show they own 100%, so they'll do whatever the fuck they want with it. They do. And it's their cash cow. It's the number one show. So I mean, it ain't gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
It's the number one show now. Breaking Bad was the number one before it dropped. Now this is all they have.
Pretty much.
For that reason, I can see why they would keep it. But I mean, it's just going to get like Dexter. It's going to keep getting worse and worse as it goes. Like there's another show that should have just like ended early on, like halfway through, but they just kept milking it, and then eventually everybody started hating it.
Yeah, I already hate it.
Oh yeah, like I definitely already hate The Walking Dead. I don't even know why I keep watching. I guess because it's the only thing to watch anymore. There's no other shows on right now, so
Yeah, I also just watch just so I can keep up with the current events, and if I'm gonna criticize it, at least I know like what to criticize and stuff. I loved the first season. Second season was like, that's when I started to notice. Okay, I hope they don't. I hope this is not what the show becomes. The third season, of course, reiterated that that's what the show is gonna be.
I would just
Really,
like to hear somebody's like in-depth opinion as to why it's so good. Like I want to hear someone compare it to another show like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, something like that, in comparison to like character shows that are like deeply character driven. You know,
I'll have to get on YouTube and see positive reviews about it. I've only seen negative, and it's like every time you go to a video like why The Walking Dead sucks, you can find like half an hour videos. It's so easy to point out.
yeah, but that's another thing that's so baffling. There's so many people dislike it. Why is there so many that are like so on board with it? I mean, everybody's got their taste, but I still want to know why everybody like regards it so much.
Because I guess like as bad as the show can be, as long as it has what people ultimately want to see, which is the zombies, the kills, and the gore. blood, I guess everything else won't matter to them.
That doesn't even seem like it's enough to keep someone interested because the zombie kills are all the same. Majorly, like 90% of them are just them like going up and stabbing them in the head.
Yeah,
And
and it looks horrible.
yeah, and the rest is just boring dialogue about what they're gonna do next. Like, oh, we gotta go to this place. Like, I've watched five. We're going on 5 seasons now, and I mean, what have I gotten out of the characters other than you know some want to kill and the other half doesn't? Like, that's the only thing I've gotten out of it.
Yeah. So what would you give the episode? What rating would you give it?
Out of like 1 to 10,
Yes.
like a 5, just because it was like it's teetering in between. It's like it wasn't horrible. It wasn't nearly as horrible as a lot of the episodes I've seen, but it surely wasn't anything spectacular and anything memorable. Like I will forget this episode completely by the end of the season.
Yeah. The sneak peek at the end of the episode already kind of gives me uh, some confidence to predict what the next episode is going to be like. Did you see the sneak peek?
I did, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, so they get to a church and there's a black priest and he says, "Oh, I've committed a lot of sins." So already that tells me that they're going to find a place, the church. They're going to find a priest who they think they can trust, and of course, it's going to be ultimately some sketchy shit.
Why do they keep like messing with people? Like why don't they need to like just seclude themselves from the rest of society? Like obviously nothing ever like goes well for these people. Like anytime they meet up with somebody, usually though the ones that like are going like that, the ones that say like they're bad automatically, you're supposed to be like, oh, they're gonna be bad, and then they turn out good for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's the thing. Like they should learn their lesson, man. Every time they meet someone new, you should just be like, just kill them, man. You know they're sketchy. Like, who have you bumped into that was like, besides Herschel and all those people? Every time they find someone new, it's like from season two, the guys at the bar, the two guys that Rick kills,
Hmm.
and then even the guy that had the son in season one. Even when he finds him, he's already like gone insane. He doesn't want anything to do with Rick anymore. That was in season three.
I don't know. I don't know. It's it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. It's the show has definitely gone downhill a lot.
Yes, The Walking Dead, where you can show horrible, gruesome deaths, but you can't show titties or say any bad words.
Yeah. Uh, I don't even think that would help. Like, there's like, I don't know. There's just nothing to keep anybody really interested in the show.
Like when I saw how they executed those people, man, like baseball bat to the head and throat slit, I was like, this is so gruesome. Like some
Yeah,
kids could be
it's
watching
pretty
this, man.
brutal for like a regular TV show.
I know. I was like, how the fuck did they let him get away with this? Like, I don't understand. Like, we can't curse, we can't show some nudity, but we can do this. That's horrible. You telling me a kid, oh, the children, we have to protect them. Well, if the kids can't hear someone saying fuck or people having sex, but we'll show them this. Unbelievable, man. Like, I was actually pretty disturbed by that those executions. That was like some manhunt style shit. It was like, fuck. Like when you see that guy's throat, it's getting like clearly slit, like up close, and then the blood coming out. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they weren't messing around. Like,
Oh,
it was just pouring out, and then you see it like rushing out. I was like, oh man,
yeah,
if I was in line for that to happen to me, then yeah, I'd be freaking out. Like,
yeah. You would.
that's not a, it's not a good way to go.
Well, I mean, why? What's the point of hitting them with the baseball bat?
That I don't know. It seemed like
So at
I
first, okay, that kills him, but that doesn't really kill him.
No, it's not meant to kill him. It was meant to like knock him out. But I guess so they don't like thrash around when they like cut them their throats. It just seemed like a typical way of butchering. Like usually when they do butchering styles like that, they like stun the animal first and stuff like that.
That's what they do.
Well, there's tons of places that do things differently, but that's generally like what happens.
Pretty brutal. Well, that ends our discussion for The Walking Dead season 5, episode 1. Next week we'll do one for episode 2, and I'm
Oh
betting
yeah,
it's not gonna be
I'm
as good.
I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't wait.
Sarcastic.
And